I knew something was wrong the moment she stepped into the living room. You don't need words when the truth clings to someone like a scent. Faint, sour, impossible to ignore. She stood in the doorway with her hair still damp from a shower she took at 6 p.m., a time she never showered, and her eyes were swollen in a way that said she'd been practicing a confession. "Can we talk?" she asked. I muted the TV and looked at her, really looked. My wife of 7 years. The girl I once trusted so blindly I would have sworn on my own bones she'd never betray me. The one I still made coffee for every morning. "What's going on?" I asked. She swallowed hard. Her fingers trembled. She clasped both hands together to hide it. "I need to tell you something. Please don't interrupt." My heartbeat didn't quicken. Paused like it was waiting for impact. She took a deep breath and said the words that split our marriage in half. "I slept with someone else last night." Silence. The kind that presses itself into your ears until you hear your own pulse. She flinched at my lack of immediate reaction. She must have expected fists slamming tables, shouting accusations, chaos. I could see it in the way her shoulders tensed as if bracing for impact. But I didn't give her any of that. Instead, I took a slow breath, sat back on the couch and said calmly, "Good for you." Her mouth fell open. What? "Good for you," I repeated. Her eyes filled with panic, not regret. Panic. Because my calmness meant something she didn't anticipate. "Why are you reacting like this?" she whispered. "Why did you tell me?" I asked instead. "Did you want permission? Forgiveness? Or applause? That's not fair." "Nothing about this is fair." She stepped closer. "Can you please just talk to me? Yell at me if you have to." "I don't need to yell," I said. "The truth is louder than anything I could say." She sank onto the chair across from me, wringing her hands. "Aren't you angry?" I stared at her wedding ring, still on her finger like it meant something. "Anger requires energy," I said softly. "I ran out of that months ago." Her head snapped up. Months. Here it was, the part she didn't expect. The part she'd been blind to while she thought she was hiding her secret. "You didn't cheat last night," I said. "Last night was just the moment you stopped lying." Her face crumbled. "You knew." "I knew something was wrong," I corrected. "Not who, not when. But I knew I lost you long before your body confirmed it." She covered her face. "Oh God." I watched her cry. Not with satisfaction, not with anger, just a numb ache that sat heavy in my chest. "Why him?" The question slipped out before I could stop it. Honest. Plain. Bare. She looked up with tear-red eyes. "I don't know. I was angry. I was lonely. I felt unseen." "And that night made you feel seen?" I asked. "No," she whispered. "It made me feel cheap. I regretted it the second it happened." "But not enough to come home," I said. "You showered first." She winced. "I didn't want you to smell." "You didn't want to feel guilty," I corrected. Her silence confirmed it. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees. "You think I didn't notice the late nights? The sudden distance? The way you stopped laughing at my jokes or touching me unless you needed something?" She shook her head desperately. "I didn't mean to drift. I didn't mean for any of this." "But you did," I said. "And now you're hoping my reaction will tell you what you want to hear." "What do I want to hear?" she whispered. "That I'll fight for you," I said. "That I'll beg you to stay. That I'll tell you this doesn't change anything." Her lips trembled. "But I won't," I added. "Because this changes everything." She reached across the coffee table as if distance could be solved by proximity. "I made a mistake. Please, we can fix this." I shook my head. "You didn't make a mistake, Emily. You made a choice. A mistake is tripping. You walked into another man's arms." She sobbed harder. "I don't want to lose you." "You already lost me," I said quietly. "You just realized it tonight." She gasped like I'd struck her. For a moment, neither of us spoke. And then she did the one thing I wasn't prepared for. She knelt down in front of me. My wife, the woman who never broke, was now crying at my feet. "Please," she whispered. "Don't give up on us." Seeing her like that did something sharp to my chest. Pain. Real pain. The kind you feel when you're trying not to break. But I didn't touch her. Not because I didn't want to, but because I couldn't tell if my hand would comfort her or betray myself. I loved you, I said. More than you even know. Love me still, she begged. We can heal. I closed my eyes. You didn't break something small. You broke the foundation. Can't we rebuild it? She pleaded. The problem, I said softly, is that you only want to rebuild it because you're afraid of losing the house, not because you miss the home. Her tears slowed. She understood. And that understanding hurt her more than anything. You were waiting for my reaction, I said. You wanted the explosion so you could justify leaving or staying depending on how guilty you felt afterward. That's not true. But it was. And her silence said so. I stood up, gently moving past her. I'm going for a walk. Please don't go, she whispered, reaching for my hand. I stepped back. I need air, I said. And you need to understand something. She looked up with hollow eyes. What? You didn't confess because you love me, I said. You confessed because my calm scared you more than my anger ever could. She pressed her shaking hand to her mouth as the truth hit her full force. I'll be back in an hour, I added. We'll talk then. But understand, talking doesn't mean saving this. Her sob echoed behind me as I walked out. The night was cold. Cold enough to make my lungs burn with each breath. I walked until my legs ached and the tightness in my chest loosened. I thought about our wedding day, our first apartment, the first time she fell asleep on my chest, the promises we made when life felt simple. And then I thought about last night. About choice. About trust. When I returned home, she was sitting on the couch, eyes raw, tissues scattered around her. She looked up at me like she was praying. Are you leaving? She asked. Not tonight, I said. Relief flooded her face. But we're not okay, I continued. And we won't be for a long time. If we even can be. She nodded slowly, accepting the weight of those words. And for the first time in months, there was honesty between us. Not comfort. Not forgiveness. Just truth. A truth we both had to live with. And maybe, just maybe, that was the beginning of something. Whether the beginning of healing or of parting, only time would tell. For now we sat in silence. Two broken people. One broken marriage. One uncertain future. But at least it was real. And real for the first time in a long time, felt like something worth breathing into. Help me hit 5K subscribers.